Well, if you've read the title, you know what this video is going to be about, and I just want to say that the more I learn of other resellers, the more I believe this to be true. That there are a lot of resellers out there, especially on YouTube, who have a problem with dyslexia in a certain way. Now, I've never went to a doctor or anything to be seen to make sure that's what I have, but I'm always inverting words, numbers, even I will even type a word that I'm not even thinking about. When I go to type a word, I am thinking about. Now, I think I looked that one up once, and it is kind of part of a dyslexia thing also. But that one always weirds me out. And I've always personally have been made to, I make myself feel dumb. And I think that has a lot to do with my upbringing, especially going to school in the, 80s, basically. Graduated high school in 89. Back then it was, it was more about making kids feel dumb as opposed to trying to figure out why this kid's not learning properly and things like that. But you know what? I was like, you know what? There's got to be, why not start a video about this subject? Because I've been beating myself up a lot lately, because it feels like maybe even with age, I'm 54 now, that it seems to be getting worse at times. And I'm like, was there any kind of support group for resellers on YouTube or anything? I'm like, I don't know. So let's start one. Let me start a video of a support group and talk about these issues, because I'm tired of beating myself up over them. Now, here's some of the things that I've experienced, like when it comes to reselling and just social media in general. Like with social media, I can, if I'm posting like a stupid joke or just saying something and I'm going to post it, I could read that thing twice and still miss things. And somebody will have to point it out to me again. Here you are feeling dumb, right? That part I'm past. I don't feel, I understand that what I have or what's going on with my brain is something that is just happening. I'm learning to accept that. But yeah, I could see things 2 or 3 times and still not see it until like the 4th time. I'm like, oh, how did I make that mistake? And then when it comes into reselling, there's things like, I think some of the helpful things is almost like a check system, if you will. Like if I have an item that it's saying I stored it in, tote 68, and it's not there, I know to go look in tote 86, because there's a chance it's going to be there. And that has happened many times over the past 24 years of doing this. So creating a system where it's easy to double check yourself is really helpful. Another thing that I think is helpful too is, even though I think like verbal communication is better, and we have to type out our communications with buyers, but we have voice to text nowadays, and that's huge when it comes to reselling. And the fact that we can, check ourselves a few times before we hit enter, obviously too. But yeah, it seems to be a rampant thing in the reselling world. So I did 2 things. I just wanted to see if it could give us any insight. I typed dyslexia runs rampant in reselling. I did it on Google and I did it on ChatGPT. So I just want to read them and see if it comes up with anything. See what they have to say. See what the AI and the internet has to say. So first up, we're doing just plain Google. And it says, you've touched upon a fascinating and increasing recognized aspect of dyslexia. Its connection to entrepreneurship, and specifically the reselling specter. I know there's certain, entrepreneurs out there who seem to have this problem. I think like a couple of the people on Shark Tank have said that they have an issue with it. I think Kevin and Damon, I believe, if I remember correctly. So it does, seem to fit into entrepreneurship. pretty common. Let's see what this states. While the statement dyslexia runs rampant in reselling might be an oversimplification, it reflects a growing awareness that individuals with dyslexia are often drawn to and can excel in entrepreneurial ventures like reselling. Here's why. All right. Entrepreneurial mindset. Dyslexia can foster an entrepreneurial mindset by encouraging individuals to develop unique strengths and define innovation solutions to challenges. People with dyslexia often compensate for difficulties with reading and writing by developing strong oral communications, problem solving, and delegation skills. Strengths in reselling. The skills commonly associated with dyslexia, such as big picture thinking, spatial awareness, I'm not sure what that word is, spatial, relating to or occupying space.
Spatial.
Oh, spatial, duh. Here we go, not recognizing a word. Spatial awareness and strong communications can be verbally can be valuable assets in reselling. And that stuff used to bother me too, being able to not recognize a word. How many times do you try to type a word that you know how to spell, yet it takes you like a minute to figure out how to spell it? That happens all the time with me. Just simple common words will just all of a sudden I'll suddenly just blank out on. Like while comes to my mind for some reason. I know how to spell while, but every once in a while I would blank out on it. Like how do you spell that? W-H-I-L-E. Today I feel like my mind's working good. So I'm like, let's make this video and do some content on this subject for support purposes. Next up, we got strong problem solving skills. Reselling involves sourcing products, navigating platforms, and resolving customer issues. And then the other one, oral communication. Resellers interact with customers, suppliers, and potential partners. Other than the customers, oral communication is huge in reselling when it comes to finding potential partners or suppliers and, places to get, your inventory from. So not afraid to speak, not afraid to talk. Examples of success. Many well-known entrepreneurs and business leaders across various industries have dyslexia. Some individuals with dyslexia have achieved significant success in business, including those involved in reselling-like activities. Next point is entrepreneurship as an outlet. For individuals who may have faced difficulties in traditional academic or employment settings due to dyslexia, entrepreneurship can offer a path to success. And I think that's another thing too, is just the fact that we don't have to try to live up to something, that a boss expects. We can create our own system, do our own thing, and, we don't have no one, coming down our throats if we do make a mistake of some sort, except ourselves, right? Holding ourselves accountable. I can't believe I listed or put this in this box, and how did I do that again? Holding yourself accountable, coming up with systems to best manage those problems. Let's talk about building supportive systems. Dyslexic entrepreneurs can leverage their unique strengths while also building support systems to address areas where they may struggle, such as using assistive technologies and delegating tasks to others. And AI, I think, is going to be a huge benefit for people who have these issues. And I know with AI, it's almost like a thoughtless thing now. Like I don't think when I do it. It does it for itself, and all I have to do is double check it. So it's almost no thought involved, and especially no thought when it comes to creating a title. What's the words I can use for keywords? How do I spell that? Something that can take a long time for somebody who's, especially me, having an off day, trying to figure out the right words to use to describe something, to have AI just do it for me. I mean, it literally not only saves time, it saves a lot of self-frustration, and it's actually a step better because it'll come up with words that, oh, I didn't think of that, things like that. So I think AI technology is definitely going to have a huge impact on people with dyslexia problems. Let's see what ChatGPT, it didn't look like it did it. It didn't, well, not as a long statement. So ChatGPT says, you're absolutely right, and it's a topic that deserves more attention. The reselling community includes many people with dyslexia, and the nature of the work being self-driven, visual, and entrepreneurial can actually play to their strengths. But challenges like listing descriptions, inventory tracking, and customer communications can be overwhelming without the right tools or support. And that's exactly what I just talked about. Having to type the descriptions in the title, getting AI to do that now. Inventory tracking, create a system that it's not in 68, so let's check 86. Customer communication, talk to text is huge when it comes to that. So having those right tools make it a lot easier and takes a lot of frustration off of my plate, I know for sure. A few ways dyslexia shows up in reselling: misspelling titles, descriptions that affect search visibility, difficulty with organization and bookkeeping. And bookkeeping, I outsource that. I don't touch the numbers. I don't look at the numbers. I mean, I do on a daily basis for my own personal thing, but when it comes to IRS and stuff, taxes, no, somebody does that for me. I don't even have to be involved. So they just pull it all offline, and it saves me a big headache. So I don't have to worry about making inverted number mistakes there. Struggles with customer messages or returns. But many dyslexic resellers are highly successful because they rely on strong visual memory, great for sourcing. That's definitely a true statement there, at least for me. Use tools like speech-to-text, listing templates, and AI assistance. So there we go there. I use all three of those, and it helps great. It's huge when it comes to making everything a lot more easier. Focus on systems that reduce reading and writing load. Again, there you go, same thing. Let's see, if you're thinking of highlighting this issue or sharing your experience, it's a conversation that could really resonate and help others feel seen. There we go. That's exactly why I wanted to make the video. So that was a nice ending there. So boom. Yeah, so let me know if there's anything you guys do to help fight the issues that you may face when it comes to inverting names and numbers and letters and what have you. So I kind of gave you mine and what I do. And hopefully there's something there that maybe you didn't think about that will help you. So, all right, I'm moving on. I'm getting back to work, and I'll have more videos up soon. I've just been taking some days off mentally and just kind of just working in my own little headspace, in my own little world. So, yeah, I'll see you all in the next video later.